Hello and welcome to episode 24 of Working Mum to Business Mum, helping working mums realise their dream of starting or growing their own business so that they can give up the day job to be more present in their families, all without the overwhelm and feeling like you need to work on your business every spare moment that you have. I'm Debbie Lucas, and in this week's episode, I will be helping you navigate the complex world of websites. We will discuss the key elements to include on your homepage so that you get those all-important sales. Before we start, a quick reminder about my next book club episode, which is next week, where I'll be sharing my top 10 takeaways from the book Authentic, Aligned and Abundant by the amazing Di Hill. Now that you have a better grasp of my journey method and how to bring clients into your world, another very important element of that process is having a website. In episode 14, I discussed what you need to consider when deciding on your website, but of course couldn't go into the full detail there, so I'll expand on that today. I've spoken of this before, but when I started out on my coaching career, I thought all I needed to do was build a website and tell people a little bit about what I did and ask them to book a discovery call with me. And that's what I did, not to mention the cost involved in that. And then, crickets. Not a single call was booked or inquiry made. So here's what I've learned along the way. As I've spoken about over the last few weeks during the various points of the journey method, having an ideal client and knowing how to speak to them using their language is crucial. And this is especially important when it comes to building a website that converts. Even more so when not getting it right first time, like I did, could end up costing you even more money, not just in what it costs to run the website, but in terms of lost sales. And of course, a lot of lost time and energy too. I'm now working with clients who didn't have a niche to start with, and we are doing a complete overhaul of their website to ensure that their ideal client is connecting with them and they're connecting with their ideal client. And ultimately, so that they can get those all-important sales. You need to tell a story and want to take your prospective client through what we call in the web design world a hero's journey on your homepage. And here are my top 4 tips to consider when writing the copy for your website. Firstly, you need to let go of your ego. Your website is not about you, but about your prospective client. You want them to read the first few lines of your homepage and say, "Yes, that's me. She totally gets me." They need to be the hero in the story. The images you use should reflect who your ideal client is. The language should be about them, and the word I should be used sparingly. You want to reflect who your ideal client is, but more importantly, show them that you understand what it is they're struggling with using their language. So yes, you need to do some research here. I know this can be a pain, but the benefits of truly understanding what they're struggling with and how they articulate their problem is infinite. So ask your audience. Really spend time in the online groups that your ideal client hangs out in. Check out websites like Quora or Answer the Public to see what people are searching for in relation to your niche. Gosh, even a simple Google search will show you what else people are searching for if you type in your niche. And then use that language to craft your introduction. Secondly, you want to evoke emotion in your prospective client so that they are inspired to take action. Again, using their language as a reference point, use emotive and descriptive words. You want to highlight their problem, but more importantly, the cost of not taking action, but then the real difference that you can make in their life. You want to go to town on the benefits of working with you and just how different their life will be. But here's the thing. Too often, I see superficial, non-meaningful words used. Words like, be happier, or be more confident. You really want to dig deep into what that actually means and looks like for your ideal client. Using the same technique I discussed way back in episode 2, Finding Your Why, you want to ask yourself, or even better, a former or current client, why that matters to them. And for every answer, ask, why is that important? Continue about 5 to 7 times with this, and you'll really get to the crux of what it means for them to be happier or to be more confident. Another great way to see the transformation that you offer is to look at your client testimonials. They will usually tell you in that what difference working with you has made for them. This section of your homepage should end with a clear call to action so that they can easily take the next step while they're all fired up. Next, you want to move on to those who are perhaps a little bit more skeptical or unsure of taking that next step. If they haven't clicked that call to action button yet, then you want to address any objections or lingering concerns that they may still have. Think about any objections that you've heard through those unsuccessful discovery calls, and use this space to answer those objections and offer some reassurance. Start keeping a note of any questions that other people have asked during the discovery call and how you've answered them. Here is also where you can use a little reverse psychology. So take the benefits you highlighted in the second part and just flip them. For example, if a benefit is the fact that they will be part of a group of like-minded individuals who will support each other and offer accountability, you may say something like, "This is not for you if you don't want accountability in achieving your goals." Lastly, remember that people buy transformation, not services, not programs, not packages. Your program or package may make sense to you, but unless your ideal client sees the true value and the difference working with you will make to them and their lives, they will not buy from you. Pay some attention to advertisements in the media. The big brands don't sell their products. They sell a lifestyle. They sell aspirations. They sell dreams. So, for example, Land Rover ads don't start with, "Hey, here's a car, do you want to buy it?" They start with someone, the hero, on an adventure, and they describe what life with a Land Rover is like. Only at the end they will say, "Here's our latest model, and go here to find out more information." Now, I'm not the adventurous type and I don't think I'll ever really want a Land Rover. But I'll tell you one thing, when I watch their ad, for a moment I'm completely transported into a different lifestyle. And sure, I tried on in my head for a moment before deciding, nah, it's not really for me. And perhaps the next car advert is the one that hooks me. But that's just an example. Once you have invested the time to get your story and website copy right, you will most definitely reap the benefits of seeing those sales start rolling in. So to finish up, here are your top takeaways from today's episode. Get out of your head and into your prospective client's head. Remember, your website is about them, not you. Tell a story of what their life is currently like, including the cost of not taking that next step, but more importantly, how their life will be different after working with you. Evoke emotion. You want them to really feel something. Generate excitement and that all-important yearning to work with you. Have a clear, strong and consistent call to action throughout your homepage. And remember, people buy transformation, not services, programs or packages. To end with a quote from Leland Dino. Your website is the center of your digital ecosystem. Like a brick and mortar location, the experience matters just as much as the perception they have of you before they walk through the door. A lot of people will see investing the time and money in a proper website design as an unnecessary expense. However, I have experienced firsthand, as well as through those of my clients, the cost of trying to do it yourself and, more importantly, not knowing who your ideal client is and building your website for them. Join me next week for episode 25, my book club episode. I'll be discussing the book Authentic, Aligned and Abundant by the amazing Di Hill. I cannot wait to share all that I have learned through this book, and I'm very excited to announce that I'm also teaming up with Di to offer an exclusive workshop to everyone in my Facebook group, Working Mum to Business Mum, so be sure to listen next week to get in on the action. As always, you can find me on all the usual social media channels and in my Facebook group, Working Mum to Business Mum. And of course, on my website, coachingwithdebbie.com, where you'll find a link to sign up to my weekly newsletter so that you get any resources I mention in my episodes directly to your inbox. And all the links are in the show notes below. And lastly, if you like this podcast, it would really help me a lot if you can share it, rate and review it, and if you don't want to miss the next episode, then hit that subscribe button. Until then, wishing you all the best.